or I should say, feel okay with being this blind.
It is kind of similar to what SKT did recently when had Bang actually on the Kog'Maw, but without really a protection comp, and obviously it worked for them, but it's SKT. And, you know, it does feel like Kog'Maw is just so vulnerable. Yeah, you have the Galio who's going to give you some damage reduction and stuff, but like, this is so much dive. You have Kha'Zix, you have Shen, you have that Ahri, and like, there's so many ways to actually get onto the Kog'Maw, and if any of them can connect to him, he's going to be insanely vulnerable.
So Tom Kench coming in. We need to see on the other side if this will be Galio support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is still an option, and then you have Fizz top lane, and you can still now take your mid lane against Ahri. Orianna is a good matchup then for GA if he wants to play the Orianna mid instead of, you know, Galio or Fizz at this point. Also take Fizz mid, and then again still move the Galio down to support.
And as long as the desk was saying, as long as 957 can be opened up on something, as long as he's not banned out, and I think everybody has the chance to open up here from WE in this game. What a crazy engaged composition of both teams, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty crazy draft. So this is Galio support. This is Kled top. You have to remember, I believe it was Kled that got played against G2 with Expect on the Shen. And this is not something that you don't smash Shen as a Kled. Like, I don't really like that matchup at all for 957. And honestly, I don't really like their draft. I just think that there's not a lot of protection for the Kog'Maw. Yes, like, you have eventually 4 people who want to dive and engage. Exactly. And then you just have Kog'Maw who's like, hey guys, what about me? Like, it doesn't really feel like it kind of makes sense as a cohesive unit.
Right, that's why it would make a lot more sense to have just like more of a whiffler AD carry. Like, heck, even at this point, like Sivir, to just buff up the entire team if you want to just run at the enemy. It might be an issue in the laning for you, but it is an odd AD carry that doesn't fit the rest of the comp.
And even, I mean, as far as top lane matchups, something like the Rumble is available if you want a more advantageous matchup against the Shen. That's even still up, so even just a Kled into the Shen, to me, is a bit of a head-scratcher, and I'm interested to see where they're going to go. I mean, if it works, I think it'll work well, but if it fails, I think it's going to be pretty one-sided.
Right, this also goes both ways as well. We see Flash Wolves have an in on this team. They have an always kind of member they can kill. They have to act on that. If they don't, where do they fall in the rest of this tournament as well? You're giving something that clear to engage on. So it leaves it all up in the air. I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but these are the things to look at. If it's going to be that open for them, they should be able to clean that up.
We didn't even talk about Galio's support. You know, like we talked about the other picks being kind of like weird and a little bit out of place right now, but Galio's support is not something we see very often in competitive play. Like, it's been top lane almost every single game it's been played. But bot lane as well, like, yes, you are very tanky because you have your damage reduction. Yes, you have ulti as well to set up damage reduction to a team member, and your taunt as your main CC. It's still so risky in this lane against an Ashe.
Yep, it really is. And you can also max taunt, you know, and get that earlier damage reduction and percentage damage reduction if you want to go that route for support. So a lot of people will like to do that since you don't really want to be always perma-pushing if you're trying to harass with your Q and killing off minions accidentally and that sort of thing. But I just really feel like WE, sure, their comp works well from ahead, but if you ever get behind, like, God, what do you do?
Not much. It's not a Juggermaw. It's the Puppermaw composition. As related here, Mist going to do what he can to keep himself alive. The Void, who is his only escape from really the Void that
self-peel
can bring. The self-peel.
I mean, the peeling is basically that you have 4 guys in your backline, and you have to deal with these 4 guys.
It's very true.
Mystic's sitting in back.
And to be fair, I mean, Ben could play it more like a Guardian support. You can stand and try to hopefully taunt the Kha'Zix when he comes in and things like this, but it feels very hard to pull off, and we'll have to see it very well played.
I mean, I think that point is legit, though, when it comes to actually protecting against multiple flanks. Obviously, the taunt from Ben is all around him. It's not just in one direction like the Shen taunt. That is definitely something in his favor. Fizz against Ahri as well. It's not quite like the Fizz against Syndra, where Syndra doesn't really have any mobility to get out of a potential fish that flies at her. Ahri will be able to either dodge it with her ulti and just trade ultis, or if she finally gets hit, you can still use the 3 ultis very defensively to kind of get away from that one shot.
And one of the other nice things about the matchup is if you actually use the first charge of your ultimate to dodge the fish, you can use the later charges to go right back in and start playing aggressive.
I know we were just criticizing Betty before this game, but that little step forward there was very smart. When you play against Galio, again, when he fires the Q right at you, very often if you actually step forward, because they kind of fly around you, you won't actually get hit by it, and you can trade back with Galio, who now useless basically, because he's obviously not going to hit you once the Q's on cooldown. That was nice little step forward.
Especially in the level 1 situation. Punch to the face, no time, you're in. Now under the turret, should miss a few here, and the rest are quite easy to farm out.
Or are they? I mean, Sword is just for some reason not prepping any minions.
Oh.
Cost his 80 carry a couple last hits there. That
He's
was
mad
bizarre.
about last game. He's like, no, you're not getting out of this farm, not for you. I like Galio early levels though. Again, base damage is really, really high. His poke is good with you. His early push is good as well. So I think early on it is just fine for WE. Will be hard with getting a kill when Tom Kench is nearby.
Top lane matchup also going to be pretty important here because you look at what WE is running. They have Fizz with teleport, and they have Kled, who's kind of, you're hoping he's going to be side lane advantage, and you kind of almost want to run like a 1-3-1 or something, but then your 3-man squad isn't very safe. It's definitely
it's definitely going to be the 1v1 of like, as long as we can push the side lanes, then collapse. Exactly. We're like, yeah, you know what, this guy in the mid lane, he's just bait at this point. Still though, early they're going to push in with the Galio.
This last hitting is actually really bad from the Flash Wolves bot lane. I'm actually pretty surprised. I mean, Sword Art is just not prepping minions. Like, I'm getting tilted for Betty by watching this. There's multiple minions that he's just been standing there not prepping whatsoever. And if you're getting harassed on the turret, that makes some sense. But there's been a lot where WE is backing up and Sword Art is just not helping out his
I missed that one too.
I mean, are you really supposed to be losing his Ashe Kog'Maw down 12 CS? Like,
but the problem is the support matchup. Tom Kench early on will not add really any value, and the value with the base damage on Q will definitely add some value here. So it is still good early on. I just want to see if we set up some ganks around it, because it is easy to tag the Galio of Tom Kench when he's standing right in your face, gobble him up.
Well, they already cover a bit of health. Karsa comes down, he puts the vision ward in.
It's just dumb. Like that damage on the caster work.
And it's pushing it too. Same thing he was doing last time. Q, that Winds of War to caster line, push the caster line, you have guy under the turret, and you just keep doing it.
Love the zoom in on the miss cannon there.
Now we're just following him, man. We're just going to keep watching his last hitting.
Yeah, well, not much is going on elsewhere on the map. People are kind of just farming it out. So, I think Karsa, he definitely would like to go down there. As you said, Tom Kench does add a lot as far as actual gank assist. And, if they can get a beat on where Lee Sin is, that could give them confidence to actually try to play a bit more aggressively and look to make a move.
Well, they found him now.
Bit of a spot on the Khan, freshly placed ward. Karsa doing what he can to make sure they do not allow any type of snowball here from what's happening in the bot lane. And Andy puts a little bit of division in as well, Pink and that vision. Clean up here for GA in the mid lane, 38 to 28. He's going to go ahead and soak the rest of those up. That 10 CS lead in the bot has kind of gone towards WE, but Flash Wolves getting away from their turret. A bit of breathing room due to this vision in the bot side, and things are looking a little better.
We've seen two different Team Ws this year, LPL and MSI, where the one version is trying to be very aggressive early on, loose early on, be behind for about 30 minutes, then rely on a big, mistake around the Baron.
Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bang, boom. You're back in the game, you win the game, and it's like, oh, okay, now you're the LPL champion. And the other one is actually get ahead early game, and then play really nice League of Legends to close out the game. So if they can avoid some of those silly mistakes they can make early on, they can actually play really well. And we saw that against SKT as an example, and some of the wins they've picked up.
I agree. I think that their team fighting is really strong, and Mystic is a guy who has really impressed me in his team fighting. And he'll really have to impress, honestly, on Kog'Maw, I think, to make this work, because he's not going to have health. So he needs to really have good positioning, really be careful about when and where he finds his opportunities. Another thing to note now is that's T down for 957 with Stand United available for MMD. So they can look to make plays, especially around Ahri and Kha'Zix. You can 5-man bot very easily. You can look for a 3-man mid. There's opportunities here. I want to see Flash Wolves be proactive with that.
Yeah, they're roaming down now with Ahri here. She pushed the lane.
They look at 5-man bot.
Oh, he's taking damage. Kha'Zix is nearby. He's saying, prep that TP, my friend.
As soon as the wave comes up, they're going to start the Shen ultimate. They're going to go in for it.
Karsa doesn't wait, he uses the cone. There goes the ultimate. Stand United is what Flash Wolves do. And the assist goes to the entire team twice in a row. The kills over to Karsa.
So well done there by the Flash Wolves. Oh!
Oh, nice. Too much turret aggro. Good devour up.
and they're actually pushing topside. They're going to try to trade a turret back for this. We'll see if WE can do it. They want to try to go for this first turret, and GA covering bot side.
They're going to get it.
Coming okay.
Yeah, they're going to get it, because Flash honestly went a bit too deep after kills happened. They had to get out. There's no minions taking the turret damage, and now top lane tower and that one kill on the very last hit on Casa.
And the solo gold is just going to go right over to 957. So funny enough, despite a great play from Flash Wolves, WE come out ahead because the initial play was great, but the extended play, they done goofed to Fishio.
Yeah, we like this. We like this. You know, you call it,
this is good.
You set it up, you kill Mystic. Ben tries to buy some time, but now we gotta look also at minions here, because tower right now is hitting Flash Wolves, and I want to see it stays on MMD, switches over to Casa, because no minions.
Oh, he flashed. You can't devour him if you flash away from him.
About a Shen though.
Yeah, they needed to push the wave up, and that's really kind of when where it went wrong, because if they don't actually die, if the minions are tanking the turret for them on the exit, they can push, get the first turret, and not lose their jungler, so they kind of skip one step, and they get punished quite a bit for what otherwise would have been a great play.
Now it's a version 2 of WE, where they are winning the early game, and this composition here that could really struggle early on, now getting on the goal lead, and they're looking for more, maybe not. They're just fighting over vision. That's what we like.
Sitting on the bottom of the screen, licking his lips, ready to get into the fight. Nothing comes of that one. Level 6 is across the board, or it's across the board. Mostly on the side of Flash Wolf. Still waiting for Mystics and Benz in the bot side, so they could activate Arrow if everybody gets there in time. Flash Wolves has a bit of pressure on the bot here.
And we do have to remember that despite Stand United being down, Flash Wolves will have the early TP. So with the Ashe ulti, you can look at TP in your Shen and try to go for a repeat of that play.
Blue over to Karsa. Quick kick to the face of Sword Art. Things were getting fishy on the back line.
Ben had to flash away. He was already tagged here by Sword Art. Now, GA's not really under pressure. He's actually getting a lot of farming, because Mabel roamed bot lane, obviously lost quite a bit mid lane, and now Mabel went for another roam. He's going to pick up the farm now and spin it out. But this is very good for Fizz, that at this point in the game, you're even CS.
It really is, but I think that the Ocean Dragon getting it this early while it's still going to laning phase is actually quite nice for Flash Wolves. I think it's actually one of the most powerful early game dragons, as it really does help shore up any laning phase deficiencies and help emphasize your strengths, because this means that they can push in even more, they'll have more mana, they can harass, and that's kind of what the mid and bot lane are both doing.
Just helps so much when it comes to actual laning. We're not getting attacked by anything. Now, bot lane tower, obviously no flash, Mystic, and Ben, they have to just step away and respect it.
But look at this. They actually move up. There's a TP ward behind that turret that they could look for, and Stand United's almost available. So they do have to be wary
they don't
of that.
get it with the sweeper.
Oh.
They knew, okay, someone placed a ward back here. Now they're actually feeling very safe, because they didn't see anything. Like, okay, there's no ward, this is fine. We've cured the location, and they're gonna sit here. They're just gonna try and get clear. Probably if Shen leaves now, this tower dies again. But if he can get 2 kill spots at tower, that is a trade for Flash Wolves. But it's a lot of pressure I liked from WE. Whoa. Like that one.
Whoa. I think you should have put a few more auto attacks on a copy.
Cast curse.
MMD playing that pretty well. That's the threat of kind of walking up a Shen like that under turret. If he lands a taunt, you're going to take so much retaliation damage. And this does put them in a position where they can back off and perhaps look to set up the play once Kha'Zix's back on this bottom side of the map.
Didn't stop anything from happening bot lane though, so we might actually see Mystic get his flashback up before a play is set up. Once again, Flash Wolves would like able to roam with them. There's TP and Shie, and that always means push out mid first, and then you can leave if you're Mabel. Then you can go join the bot lane. You don't want to sacrifice more farm. Are you trying to look for that one play and lose something? He's on his way down. Missed it. I don't know what.
Yikes. Quite a bit of damage. That one's going to be delivered over to Karsa as expected. And you can see just how much fighting there has been in that bot lane. We're 12 minutes in and they're under 80 CS.
And it's so much global presence with Shen Ultimate and the Tom Hench Ultimate delivering in, you know, the Kha'Zix there, and they still have Stand United available. So Mystic is never really going to feel safe in this bot lane, because it's so easy to set up the multi-man plays, and especially with, you know, this assassin Kha'Zix getting dead, it just makes the jump even harder for Mystic.
The moment where Flash Wolves keep that bot lane tower alive. You're like, come Mystic. Yes, you're safe under this tower, and 5-man show up and kill him once again.
It's a long time.
Smart play. This was actually good ulti from Sword Art. Mystic was just kind of sitting there farming, figuring out he was pretty safe, and then suddenly he gets bumped without flash. There's really nothing he can do. He's trying to scale into late game. We kept talking about it in champ, like how risky the pick actually is right now, and he's been punished in terms of the kills over the flash rules, but he's still farming pretty well, despite obviously the low numbers that you highlighted, Riv.
And he has a kill of his own thanks to Karsa, taking that turret damage. Yep. So as far as actual goal of the 80 carries, he's actually going to be ahead of Eddie, and that is something that is going to be working for him.
Yeah, just about 500 gold at this point ahead, as mid lane heads back and forth. They're 108 to 113 CS. Just a few assists towards Maple's side here, as Flash Wolves has definitely been the more active and proactive team in the early of the game.
It's not looking good right now for Flash Wolves, simply because WE is getting out of this lane phase. Kled is going to be such a strong split pusher that Shen can't really stop in the side lane. Same for Fizz in the other side lane later. So that's always a problem when you play against these strong split pushing characters. They tend to be a little bit weaker in the early game, and that's why you punish them. Not the same though.
Yeah, I mean, when you give over the turret gold to Kled, that's going to help get him going a lot. Plus, just knocking down that top lane turret always means the kind of a roam to mid, an ultimate through the jungle towards mid to dive and things like this are so much easier to pull off.
One thing we might see in the mid lane with GA here is you queue forward on the Fizz to the Ahri and you fire your ulti at the same time, so you're basically guaranteed to hit it. And then when she tries to jump away with her ulti, she gets knocked up, and then you can follow her with your own Trickster. And you can try and actually burst an odd protobelt. Like, you have more ways now to add extra mobility. Mystic, he learned his lesson, he's stepping away.
He's playing so safe, but it's tough because he's going to have to give a farm. Their turret is very low, and it will likely fall here because if you try to mount a defense, unless WE can get all their members down here to kind of cover him, it's so risky.
Looks like they're staying for the long haul. Don't want to do it in a dangerous position. Still ready to get the fight going. Wards being cleared, and they should be able to get priority over this vision here as Karsa toys with them toward that blasting cone.
Yeah, and because that play before from Flash Wolves didn't actually give the tower, they're now stuck in that situation where double TP is ready for WE.
Well, he's one of those TPs right now. 957 coming in, coming down and looks for the cavalry to be behind it. Ben looks to have the chase as well. They both get themselves into a position that might be a little sticky now. MMD focusing on to Ben as they all go for Maple. He's over the wall, but Condi has the follow with the resonating strike. They take down Mystic. The Academy gets surprised to deliver the extra damage from the pass now. He's able to take down Maple. Chasing Condi over the wall. MMD does not have the room. It does not have the base to clear it. Here comes the Abyssal Voyage, and he is over the wall quickly. Condi is on mission. Possible safeguard over to 957. No, to his turret. And 957 given the fire. Just a hit finally from Karsa as chops him down. Scarl runs off, and 957 will find the same fate in just a few.
Karsa is just picking up every kill, getting so fed, but WE, what were they doing? They're chasing Maple around the whole drag pit, throughout the whole fight. They're wasting all their time while the rest of the team dies.
They were just scaling. They were doing so well, just being defensive. Not teleporting in, Riv.
All right, it's not gonna end now. Looking for the shutdown.
Ah, that fish.
Karsa's still alive. Obviously, the buffs refresh for Shea. I don't think he's gonna find much more as they have left the jungle. Now they regroup the vision that they lost. We'll see what happens from here. It's just the batting order goes down and the teams are right back fighting.
I hope we get to see that replay because we're going to have to give up the Benny Hill music for this Maple chase.
That was such an unnecessary fight to try and take. It just went all in. I guess once they committed the teleport, they're like, we're not getting out of here without a fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the goal is still very close, but definitely not the fight you want.
You were winning for. You were like, you were ahead. You were like, great guys, you know, set up the split moves. It's perfect, slow and steady. That was actually the way we introduced WE to this tournament. These guys will take it slow, you know, they will play smart, calculated. This tournament's been a lot of early game aggression from WE. Tables have kind of turned around between them and Flash Wolves. So, at this point,
very long engage.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, as they all go ahead.
Yeah, and the initial engagement I think is fine, I guess, from WE. But just watch, everyone goes for Maple. 3 men chasing him. He's all over the wall, they're flashing over. They're still all chasing him. All of them. The second guy flashes over. They're still chasing him. Yeah, sure, they finally killed Maple, but you've already lost your bot lane. Everyone's chunked out of the fight. They got 2 flashes. It's like, what is happening?
Hey, we said this in champs, like Mystic is on his own. You know, like they were chasing around him.
Yeah.
But I was emphasizing the point
Exactly. They're just making sure it fits. That was so close. He almost deserved to get out. Almost.
It's almost like the Faker buff, you know, the passive taunt. Everyone's going for Maple, like everybody chasing him, and it looked pretty silly.
But like even diving in before that with that pedal, like I get it, you used TP, you want to get something out in return. They got a flash for it, but then you just completely overextend. And of course, a guy like Mystic, he can't follow. Like if he's walking close to any like little choke point, he's just gonna get jumped from left and right, and he obviously went down very quickly. Bits appealing, it's not quite enough against all the engage on Flash's side.
I mean, it ended up being a 2v4. It was WE's bot lane versus everyone minus people, and you're not going to win that kind of fight. So
6 kills on Casa.
Both AD carries focusing that Blade of the Rune King to start. And yeah, 6 kills for Karsa. He got the 2, was taken down at the turret, and just decided to add 4 more on. He got a little angry about dying. Here it could be a 5th after those 2. Make it 7-2-1. The team's going to help on this. Here actually comes the heroic entrance. I still think they may be able to take down Shie here. He gets out alive, shun the waters. They had to use quite a bit to get out. Vision is still there from Hawkshot.
that was actually really good from Ben. I mean, not only the ult coming in, but the disruption, stopping them from chasing Shie, who is going to be such a key member for their team because he's actually up quite a bit in farm. He got the shutdown kill. He's a very strong member for the team right now. And if he can have side lane dominance to be protected like that, great.
That bought some time as well for WE because they're waiting for Mystic to get QSS, so he's actually safe sitting in that mid lane. Arrows on cooldown from Betty, and 3 guys were just bot lane trying to get killed, but because that actually didn't work for Flash Wolves, it should give Mystic enough time to farm up, go back to base, get the QSS, and then he can actually sit in this lane and try and push the wave. Otherwise, he's just gonna get arrowed and die.
Short lane, a favorable lane right now for Mystic. Summoners are up and he keeps himself safe. Top lane being pushed by 957 is he now backs, or I should say was pushed. Starting to become quite a force here. The engages be a little bit shorter and WE can all act on it. That fight probably goes a little bit different. 7-3 though, Flash Wolves still very much in this one. As they make sure they get themselves one of the Ocean Drakes and gather their vision back.
And I mean, honestly, not only are they still in the game, but I think that they have a much easier comp to actually execute with on Flash Wolves' side. You know, this is a pretty standard, straightforward team composition. I think that WE kind of has to pull off, you know, a lot of nice picks and flanks and things like this to really make it work.
So not like the last fight. Like everything, you know, different.
Just take that, do the opposite.
Do the opposite. Right, right.
Sounds so easy.
I like that
Just
one.
look at that next time.
You do feel very powerful though when Kled pop that ulti, kind of following him into battle, all sped up as a Galio in the front line. Like, it's hard to then stop. And you don't hear the one guy in the back saying, no guys, no, wait for me. You're just going all in.
There's just a light bark behind
Yeah,
you.
like, yes, you're going that one. And then you die. That's not good, because now it's 70 Flash Wolves. And suddenly Maple, while despite being 0-1-3, actually has the damage to kill some of these squishy guys.
Pretty funny little combo actually. So Ben is queuing the back line, then one ult shot from Mythic finishes off all those minions. So he's kind of prepping the pour in there, and you know, not a big deal, but nice little interaction.
Karsa backs. This might spell slow down for Flash Wolves here as they recoup and get themselves back onto the map. Let's see what kind of items they get. Well, actually, vision words coming in for the side of Flash Wolves so they can start to encroach those further into the side of WE's jungle.
The soul laners for WE actually are completing some very important items now. This power spike 4957, when you have the Titanic plus the Black Cleaver, you start to really kind of ramp up in strength. And Fizz as well, completing Zonia's plus the Protobelt does allow you to play much more aggressively, dive for the backline in these sorts of fights. And you know, we haven't talked too much about it. Betty is very vulnerable to a Fizz also.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's certainly someone that you can go for, but Sword Art isn't there to try to deny.
Exactly. Tom Kench is like the Fizz mid counter champion to be used more and more, obviously, because like Luke Karma banned almost every game, enables some of these melee supports to play who typically are better outside of lane phase. In laning phase now, nice little move here mid. You see it to be coming behind though.
But ulti going in.
EA gonna look for the back line if he can hook it just around a Karsa or Betty. He's gonna hold it for now. It would be MME or Sword Art. And a good in and out. The turret is safe from the telepin.
And Fletchel's very easy disengage. That's the TP down from Xie, as well as the ultimate on 957. It only costs Sword Art's exhaust, so definitely a pretty good trade, I'd say, for Flash Wolves.
So dragging up in just a few seconds. WE here already down towards it. Might as well start a fight around it. Problem is, again, Flash Wolves still have the ulti from Mabel. But they can actually see if they can position around to maybe get him in a flanking position.
And they also have the scuttle, so they know if WE has actually gone to the dragon, and when they have it, you can assume that they're waiting in one of these bushes looking for a pick. So Flash Wolves should not be caught off guard by their placement.
You have to, of course, remember Kase is so fed right now, and Kase's like, if it is a split-up fight where he's actually able to kind of find that one little guy who's left alone, I'm looking Mystic, of course, right now. He can kill him so quickly. And it's not the first time we've seen fed junglers this tournament. I feel like it happens all the time. The junglers just pick up all the kills. Definitely the role with the most kills so far. I believe Peanut is the player with actually the most kills.
That's not really a shocker after the 15-0 Lee Sin game.
Definitely a very important game for WE. They have more chances, but even on this one, they can lock in that knockout stage with a victory here. So it'll be much easier for them to think about their next days with a little pressure off. 2-3 here. They start fall behind slightly in this game, but very even now as they look to grab the next mountain break.
See, actually, Mabel now finally found that flank we talked about just before. Coming
Double TP's coming in.
Missing alone.
Oh, the best backline gets hit immediately. Flashes out, 75% HP, and that's Maple's ultimate. A 3-man taunt by MMD. Search refuge forward to block a few of the autos, and Ability coming in. And Mystic waiting to get in. The Dragon now de-aggro so they have a full fight. It is WE choked into the jungle spot here. Where's the damage, though, from either team as they just go pit for tap back and forth and disengage?
Yeah, Flash Wolves easily push them back. I mean, both summoners have to be blown instantly from Mystic. He has no protection from this Stand United onto Maple, and lots of summoners blown on the side of WE. Almost, actually, no summoners reaching that fight from Flash Wolves, and they still have ultimates available on a few of these guys, so it's definitely pretty hard for WE in these fights.
Again, both teams are looking for these flanks here. You need to set up your carries like a Fizz running head first into a Shen. That's not going to do anything for WE, but this time, because they were starting the Dragon, it was Flash Wolves who would actually set up the flank. With Mabe coming from one side, Mystic is left on his own and kind of walked down towards Maple as well. So you can blame him as well. It's not just the team not peeling for him, but it's really hard for them getting engaged on to actually fight properly due to how all these different champions want to come in from these different flanks.
Whoa. Turret for a bite. So they just use the Abyssal Void so nothing more of mid gets taken. It can't really get an engage off of this. Bot lane, however, need to be respected here by WE, and we'll see who they send down.
Yeah, there's so many minions down there. They need to send someone down right now. So Flash Wolves have the opportunity to try to look for play as Ash Arrow is back up, and they know that 957 has no TP, but it is a pretty small window. We'll see if they go for it.
Chung Waters disengaging from the turret. Nice little zone there from Xie. Didn't even want that to hit. Would have been nice for damage, but it's just going to be another repeat. Next wave could be that going down with Maple's pressure on the top side.
Kase is trying to hide here, as we talked about, you know, between the lanes. Whenever they try to force WE to send someone to defend the side, and Kase sits in between, hoping some face checks him on the way, and then he can get a lot of damage on them, maybe even kill them. And then he realizes, okay, no one is actually face checking. I'm just going to join my mid laner and take down the tower. So it doesn't look like much with Kase sitting there, but that's so much value for Flash Wolves because they know if no one shows up, he can actually kill them 1v1.
You definitely can. I gotta say, I expected Condi to go up, help secure the turret defense, you know, with Xie, because he was just doing the Krugs the whole time while he was sitting right there. And that one last minion can't be taken down. They lose the turret, and you can argue that yeah, it was gonna go down eventually, but I still think you want to make your opponents fight for every inch. You don't want to just give over a free turret like that.
Right, you do that, then they have the next move in mind already, and they're a few steps ahead of you without any type of trouble, any type of test. Here we see Flash Wolves getting back as again the bot lane is pushed. We're able to move Betty towards mid lane here, and they might just solidify that turret once and for all.
And WE out of it took that fight now about 10 minutes ago where they kind of threw away the entire lead. It's not really been able to set up this split push again. Like, it's been a lot of moves around Dragon and mid lane fights. You might get another one.
Stand United coming in.
Flies in Betty, or I'm sorry, Ben could be the hit here, but they don't want the tank. 957 on the other side. Ben doing what he can to set it up for the team, but such low health bars on both sides as Xie starts to enter the fight. And Stand United had called MMD down up the bottom.
Ben actually completely denied that, pre-channeling the taunt right as they come out with the Shen and Karsa. He taunts up Karsa. Karsa has to bail out that play right away, and they get a lot of summoners off Flash Wolves, and buy a little bit of time for Xie on the bot side, and he may finally get to the turret.
Well, Shen is down here now saying, nah, you're not getting in there.
One of these days, official, one of these days.
Soon he'll get it. Give it one hit. Come on, do it.
There you go.
He's just holding minions out.
He's tempted. He's respecting the fact that everyone is coming. Kench ulti is ready as well. So smart play, not being greedy for the tower. Another fight though where no one dies. Like everyone is just kind of hitting the front line a little bit. MMD is still trying to look something, but now once again, WE back in side lanes, trying to push him out. And it's Flash Wolves who's waiting for that opening to kind of push back, then group mid and look for another engage with someone like Mystic. Didn't get him this time, they were all hitting Ben. And Karsa had to also flash out on the other side.
It doesn't like Betty has not been super proactive with his Ash arrows this game. Has not really been looking for too many picks, and I would think that like in a scenario like this, you could just throw out that arrow, hit in the dive, and use it in posture for turret damage, as that turret is very, very low. Mystic standing by himself, you don't have to commit if the rest of the team shows up.
Like confident. You can't miss it if you don't use it. And then we can't blame him.
There you go.
I like it.
Advise all the Ashe players at home.
Yeah, just throw them out.
You hit every
if you don't want to
you
flame.
don't throw.
Yeah,
It's the opposite.
Exactly.
Please no. 7-3, 29 minutes in here, and still neck and neck. Turrets to be dropped on both sides. Betty 005, sort of 007. A lot of the kills on Karsa. He goes down in these fights, and maybe a lost power on the side of Flash Wolves.
Indeed, a gatekeeper protecting that tower. No one allowed to hit it. Still hold strong on the Shen, and again, you can stack so much armor against Kled, and it's hard for Kled to actually take you down in time.
It really is, and it's not like there's a ton of magic damage you have to work on. Yes, there's some mixed damage, but Mystic in trouble.
I was gonna say, where's the arrow? Hits him right in the face, waiting for Karsa to jump in, knowing he was going to Quicksilver. He knew what he was doing. They clear up the wards, and this turret is not long for this world. Is the next minion wave just coming up on Ritter?
All summoners and QSS down from Mystic now, so really this is a great time to just force a fight from Flash Wolves. If they can get Maple into the backline with MMD, they should be able to get a guaranteed kill on Mystic.
They just want to get his tower so bad, open up the map so people can actually get behind the enemy team. It's the same set. Whenever the top lane is being pushed out, Flash Wolves will just group mid and look for that engage. But of course, Arrow now is on cooldown. Another play they make though is actually use Kench ulti from the mid lane to the Mabel side lane. And if it's a fist sitting there, you can chase him down pretty easily and make a play, because Mystic is not really a threat in the mid lane. He's pretty slow at pushing out this lane. He's sitting very far back, but Flash Wolves have been playing it extremely slow. Just only look for mid lane fights. The tower is low. Someday, they will actually kill it.
Yeah, I mean, the tower is very low, and although they are kind of being warded from taking it down, WE hasn't done anything across the river in so long.
Yes.
They're not even approaching these turrets, let alone getting any chip damage on it. They don't seem to have confidence to. Kled is not winning out against Shen whatsoever.
Yeah. And again, also the Kench. When your mid laner in a split push comp gets pushed in, it allows Kench to just go your lane very easily and stop you from pushing forward. Hondi is not going for the steal.
Makes the right choice.
It's another Dragon though for Flash Wolves, double Mountain and the Ocean Drake. Like again, because of the lack of mid-lane pressure with this, 80 carry sitting here, not being able to push out. If you go too aggressive in a side lane, you get ganked. 2 or 3 guys and you die, and they flame you for that.
Yeah, and I mean, in these slower games, the Mountain Dragons can be exceptionally powerful because you already have someone like the Kha'Zix and the Ashe and everyone who's going to be able to take down this Baron pretty quickly. Now you have double Mountain, which does allow you to rush this down very, very fast if you see opportunity arise.
They are not allowing WE to move any wards forward. With the amount of knowledge WE has, it's this mid turret, they still can't do anything. The fundamentals of how strong Flash Wolves is playing, just that mid turret continues to run WE around and not allow them to engage. Guardian Angel, however, 957, so the fight could be a little hairier. They're going to get more extended. And here you see the wet noodle fight begins in the bot lane.
I just don't really see Kled ever killing the Shen unless it's like, I don't even know. You have to build so specifically for the 1v1. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it looks like they're finally going to knock this down. But Flash Wolves are posturing around the Baron. They could all the Shen in and try to start it up.
Remember with double TP and WE here, so Flash could actually force those TPs by just starting Baron and disengage instantly. But they decided not to actually go for the play. That is what we see a lot of teams do, where at the start of Baron, you're kind of like, ooh, that seems risky, but it's only to force teleports. As soon as you see TPs, they back away.
And I like those plays that much more when you do have a Shen, because you're working with the double globals and being able to force those TPs out. Even if you have to match, then you have your second global, so you can get the bot lane control and force around Baron much more easily when your opponent can't necessarily react to it.
Yeah, so we'd love to see Flash Wolves actually started the Baron there, just to make that. I like the move though from GA to just go down and try and get a tower. Finally, they take it down. But the problem is still the mid lane. They don't have any control in that lane, so they can't actually push for tier 2 towers in the side lanes due to the threat of Kench and his friends. So now it becomes a party around this Baron, and they're so even in goal. One fight is just gonna break this game like wide open, where suddenly the team who picks up the win will probably take the Baron and use that to get a massive advantage.
1, 2, 3 turrets, as Kobe says. Just so much gold in the ground. They just got to pick up. They got to get to it. Nobody has been able to. The wave clear huge here from the Voidus coming in from the Winds of War. And Flash Wolves has been at this mid turret now for about 10 minutes.
And also pretty nice that they were actually able to defend despite Mystic sitting around in base for quite some time, because he was completing a great play, and now
that's
on that power spike, they're looking to fight.
Just the hit. Look at Shie right behind him as well. Chum the Waters is going to knock onto Sword Art. Betty has to stay in the back. He is kiting this one out, but Shie is heading right for him. And now they're on Condi. Mystic in the back line, firing shots off. Benny's trying to get with the team. Here's a heroic entrance. Nobody's popped up, but it does help WE a bit. Flash will somehow scatter, only losing one. WE get the fight they finally won.
Yeah, we finally got to see this combo that's just diving the back line. GA and of course 957 together. Had to use everything on Sword Art, who also had a perfect
They're going to start Baron
there. They're going for a TP in as well.
Remember, Kled can remount off of doing damage to that Baron. They're TPing in. They're going to try to force it. It may turn for MSI if he completes the TP.
Does taunt over the wall. The vision's there. That's going to be on Ben. He decides to stop clearing it as the team goes to Jock. Sword Art again. Chum the Water twice in a row. Deja vu for WE onto Flash Wolves. And that's exactly the hit they wanted. Betty and Sword Art down.
We're just waiting for that Maple ulti to be ready. Just a few more seconds for him, and he can actually go in. MMD's full HP. He can taunt in the Baron pit.
And Karla can look for the steal on the side. He's poking them down.
This is all risky.
Trying to set up for this play. Do the commit to the 50-50. Condi needs to make sure he secures the fifth thing for it.
Level 14 to 15 smite. That's going to be on Condi. He is able to grab it. And Karsa could go down. Throws down the ultimate for a bit of mitigation. Now they're on MMD. Maple wants a few more Foxfire in. The living artillery too close to taking him out as WE looks to get out safety.
Yeah, WE needs to retreat now. Condi, flash Q, so nice.
Retreat to the fight, if you will. They're going to take down Karsa as he stays too long behind the pit. And WE make it out with Baron.
It is so fun to watch WE once they don't lose that early game. Then engage from mid lane, out of nowhere. Kled ulti with Fizz following in. They get the kill. Betty in the end. They go for Baron. Perfect disengaging, one kill. They go back to the Baron, have full control of Karsa is, and they know they can just take it down. Like, such a clean setup, and this is a reason WE is just slightly above the other 4 teams that are all fighting for that second place, and why WE right now is sitting at 4-3, potentially 5-3 after this.
You also have to love that they're doing it right around a major item buy for their AD carry. You know, the Rage Blade is such a big power spike for the Kog'Maw. Just getting that little bit of extra damage in for them in the team fight. You know, it was a very close fight, and that could have been the edge.
Looks like they'll bring that power away from the top side of the map, as you will. Now that Baron's down, just on the edge is Mystic. He's getting there in a moment. They're doing this all without their AD carry and initiating as soon as he arrives. Got to be careful of how fast they go back. 957 off the Garl, dodges a bit of damage. Great redemption to the back line. Heroic charge in. Not really going to help too many, but they do get Maple Science, and Shie looks for the fishing kill here. Barriers on. It makes Shie chase a little too far. Is it what WE wants? And they are able to solidify the fight. 3 down for Flash Wolves.
They get the fight, and they're going to get the game. You're crashing down the bot lane. What a decisive fight and decisive victory for WE.
After waiting so long, guarding down that mid turret, it does fall, but WE does not. They persevere into the base of Flash Wolves. WE takes down the first Nexus turret, and WE also locks themselves into the knockout stage at 5-3 in MSI 2017.
They confirm they're the second best team